What did I tell you? I told you that there is going to be a mysterious figure. Either it's going to be an Otsutsuki or it is going to be Toneri. And I got a lot of shit like I usually get. You know, people saying I talk random shit and I don't know what I'm talking about. But guess what? What I said has been delivered in this episode. Toneri actually came and talked to Boruto in his dream. And it is something that needs a little bit, you know, discussing. So that is what I'm going to do in this review. The episode starts with Boruto and his whole gang in the cinema, including Iwabe and Denki, right? And then they are watching a movie with Kagemasa, who is the superhero, or at least I think the anti-hero, because he has an evil eye and you cannot have anything evil when you are a superhero. Now let's talk about Denki, who is in this episode, and he briefly appeared in the previous episode, but let's just talk about him real quick. Now we have Denki here, who just knows about technology and has nothing to do with ninjutsu, even though that is what he is trying to learn. Now the thing about Denki is that as a genin, to become a genin, you have to pass certain criteria, like being able to use basic ninjutsu, and so far we have not seen Denki use anything. The only thing that this guy uses is his laptop and technology, so I'm guessing that he is going to start using technology with ninjutsu, but at the same time he has not demonstrated any signs of being able to use any ninjutsu, or at least even the clone jutsu. So I think even when Boruto, Sarada and the rest graduate, I think that, you know, a few people are going to stay behind, including Denki, or at least people who are not good with education, and you know, people who cannot even use ninjutsu, which is the basic criteria. So that is Denki for this review. Now let's talk about the rest that happened. So obviously they talk about the differences between the movie and real life. Like Iwabe says that we can learn a lot from Kagemasa's taijutsu, and then we have Shikadai and, you know, Iwabe talking about whether, you know, the differences between real life and movies. Now the thing about movies is that movies either make something look easy or they make it seem possible when it is actually not. So that is the difference between real life and fiction. Apparently Boruto does not like Kagemasa because Kagemasa makes everything look so easy, and you know, everything that happens around him looks so convenient. And the thing is, it's like, alright, so we are gonna pretend you did not pretend to be Kagemasa for like the entire episode. No, it is kind of contradictory to what Boruto said, saying that everything is too convenient for the anti-hero, or at least the hero. But if you look at it, if you look at Boruto the movie, and if you analyze everything, the entire world has been made too convenient for Boruto and his generation. Like Naruto said that Sasuke and him are old fossils, and this new generation is different from the old one because the old one was harder than the new one, and everything has been made really convenient. And you can compare it to, you know, the real life, where we have people from the old generation saying that the new generation, their technology age, or the millennials have everything, you know, made convenient for them. If we want some piece of information, we can just Google it, whereas they had to go to the library and, you know, research the information through long hours of, you know, just searching through different types of book for information. So, you know, it's just a comparison which you can make in real life. And the thing about Boruto is that he's being contradictory by saying that the hero has everything made conveniently for him, whilst his entire generation have things made conveniently for them. And I can go into more depth as to how Boruto and his entire generation have been pampered. If you actually read the novel of the movie, Boruto the movie, it actually goes into depth where Sasuke, you know, takes Boruto as a student because he can see that Boruto has been pampered a lot, and you know, he doesn't really get punished for his actions because he's the son of the Hokage. So in a way, he is riding the Hokage's coattails, as you know, he was trying to say he didn't. But obviously, when it comes to that point, when it comes to all of that, it's just not really his fault that people, you know, let him get away with a lot of things because he is the Hokage's son. But anyways, we see Boruto talk shit about his dad. Now he says that his dad is not the superhero that everyone thinks he is. Like, you know, people see the superhero in the movie. He actually says that Naruto is just like any ordinary person, has a good side and a bad side. You know, it is a comparison to how people, apparently there is this saying that people have two masks that they put on: the mask that they wear when they are home, and then the mask they wear when they are outside. So you behave differently when you are outside than when you are inside, and Boruto has the inside view of what Naruto actually looks like, and he embarrasses Naruto and, you know, exposes him by saying that he wears his shoes differently. You know, he forgets sometimes to wear his shoes properly, and you know, he's very, very sloppy as a person, and we know that this is who Naruto is. But at the same time, Boruto fails to, you know, understand or see that Naruto is actually fatigued. And you know, this is like an issue in Japan where people overwork too much, and I think this is like a flaw in the Kage system, where the Kage, you know, gets treated as just a regular regular salaryman who, you know, has to overwork the entire time. I mean, we have Shikamaru there, just coming there, busting the joke or two, and, you know, walking away. It's like, alright, cool. You're seeing your friend who is the Hokage stressed. Why don't you just help him out? I think the Hokage should have some assistants who help them out, but I don't think Shikamaru is really doing anything, because he is all happy and he's always smiling when he comes into the office and sees Naruto really miserable. So I think, you know, the Hokage system needs a little bit of adjustment. I mean, the entire ninja system has been readjusted, and the world as well. So I think the Hokage system needs a little bit of adjusting too. So yeah, that is my opinion on the Hokage system. And we have Boruto exposing Naruto, but you know what? I really like the fact that we get to see Naruto who has some facial hair, and I think this is the farthest we will get to seeing Naruto with actual facial hair. And I would actually be happy to see Naruto with a full-grown beard, and that's what satisfy a lot of the fans, seeing that the person they know as Naruto is actually fully grown up, and it can be a symbol for growth and the future, so to speak. We get a little bit of dialogue between Boruto and Shikadai, and Boruto and Shikadai agree not to tell anyone about the whole situation, because if they do, then they are being reckless, because they don't really know the cause of the situation, so they have not fully investigated it to give out information. So they decide to keep it by themselves. And we have Boruto, who uses Shadow Clone after getting some inspiration from Kage Masa. So he says 3 heads are better than 1, but the question is, it's like, alright, cool, 3 heads are better than 1, but do these heads really count as heads if they all have the same brain? It's like, basically, it's like me not being able to solve a maths question and using Kagebunshi and saying 3 heads are better than 1. It's like, I can't solve it, so why should my Shadow Clones be able to do any better? We have the same brain. In the end, we just get a recap of the previous episode, and Boruto does not get anywhere. So he decides to sneak out to get a burger, and he starts talking to Shikadai about the whole being able to see the shadow by his own. And we have Mitsuki just comes and says, hey, don't forget me, I'm a relevant character, I'm not trying to become like Tenten or anything. So they talk, and Boruto thinks about his potential Byakugan, which I think will be called his evil eye or something similar, because he is inspired by Kagemasa, who has an evil eye, right? So he might take inspiration from Kagemasa and call it his evil eye. He goes to sleep, and then he gets a dream from, guess who? Toneri Otsutsuki. Now, I said this and someone told me this nigga don't know what he is talking about, and others said that I was just talking random shit and I should go kill myself. But guess what? In the end, what I said came through. Okay, we have Toneri who says this, and I quote, he says, your eye is the star of hope against destruction that will eventually come to pass. The power of hope slumbers within you. You will shoulder the fates of this world. That eye will probably guide you to the light, which will dispel darkness. Now we have Momoshiki who says the opposite, so I think maybe Boruto's eye, or at least where his eye brings him, depends on the path that he takes, as well as people surrounding him. And I think Mitsuki is his moon, right? And then we have Toneri magically being on the moon talking to Boruto. So I think that maybe Mitsuki might be one of the people who guides Boruto in the right direction, because the sun and the moon are like bouncing off each other, right? The sun reflects the light onto the moon, which illuminates the night sky. So these two definitely go together, and I think Mitsuki is going to have a huge role in how Boruto develops, as well as Sasuke and all these other people that Boruto is to meet in the future. With all that being said, we have Boruto who wakes up flexing like Kagemasa, pretending like he just got some pussy, you know. He comes back to his boys to tell the entire story of how it all unfolded and shit, and he's flexing, he's happy because he thinks he has unlocked the Byakugan, right? Even though this is not the Byakugan and it is something new. The fact that Toneri is actually coming there to talk to him, I think maybe this could probably be a Tensegan, but this is most likely not a Tensegan. This is most likely something new, because they have a reference of Hinata being the Byakugan princess. So this could be a new variation like of the Byakugan, or maybe this could be a special eye only unique to Boruto, because we know his parent has the DNA of the Senju, which come from Hagoromo, and then we have Hamura, who is Hyuga. So if you mix Hagoromo and Hamura together, then naturally I think it should create something new, because Hamura has the Byakugan and then we have Hagoromo who has the Sharingan. So I think this could be potentially maybe a mix of the two, potentially. We don't really know what this eye is, and if someone tells you it's the Byakugan, then you know, it's most likely true. But if they start making up random names that they have combined together, then they are just talking random shit. So I think we should just wait and just set this one out, and you know, wait for them to actually announce the name or give it an actual name before people start claiming it to be the Tensegan. Because if it was the Tensegan, then why is Boruto not in that form that Toneri used against Naruto when he was fighting Kawaki? He's most likely not out of chakra because he's hanging on the Kage statue, you know, on his sides, and he is actually attacking Kawaki by using his seal. So he definitely has a lot of chakra to initiate the mode. This is not a Tensegan, most likely not, or at least it is my guess. So unless it is confirmed that it's a Tensegan, no one knows what it is, and whoever tells you that it's a Tensegan is talking random shit and is just talking out of their head, or just trying to mislead you. We have Naruto, who is exhausted from too much working, and Shikamaru escorts him home and says, I will do the rest of the work. And Boruto starts acting up, and he sees Naruto and says, hey dad, I have actually unlocked something and I think you should check this out. And Naruto says, nigga, you ain't unlocked shit. To unlock the Byakugan, you need a lot of hard work and specific training to get it, and you ain't unlocked shit, so stop talking shit, don't say nothing to me. And then Boruto gets upset because he thinks that Naruto thinks he is lying. So obviously we have the whole love-hate thing there going on between Naruto and Boruto wants his dad to, you know, see him as the person that he is. But the thing is that Naruto is denying anything that Boruto says, so it's like he is trying to get recognized for something that has happened to him, which is special. But Naruto is saying, no nigga, you ain't special, sit your ass down. Boruto and Naruto go to Hiyashi to investigate what this new thing is, right? And then Boruto says, I don't really like coming to this place, and I think maybe it is because of the serious tone, you know, because Hiyashi is portrayed to be very serious, but then he displays this different side of him, which is very happy, and he loves his grandkids, right? And you know, it was a big surprise that I never saw coming. So I really liked the surprise, and I really liked that they showed a more humane side of Hiyashi, because obviously if someone is serious, they can have a side where they are more relaxed and show a more humane or at least a fun side of themselves. And I really like what they did with that scene in Hiyashi and Himawari. So we have Himawari playing because she is the innocent kid that she is, and then we have a little bit of talk between Hiyashi and Boruto, and he pretty much confirms that there is a certain amount of training, or there is a specific type of training that you need to go through in order to unlock the Byakugan. And I made a video talking about a Hyuga, or at least someone who comes from the Hyuga lineage who unlocked the Byakugan in one eye. And then again, I got a person in the comments saying that I don't know shit and I'm just talking random bullshit. But guess what? It has been revealed that it is true that people can unlock the Byakugan on and not unlock the Byakugan based on who they really are, what kind of training they got, and whether they can master it or not. So everything I said in that video is true, and you can go check it out and make out what you think of the video. One thing I do want to talk about is the little joke scene where we have Naruto asking Boruto whether he has stolen a forbidden scroll to learn something, and Boruto says, what is that? Now I'm thinking, wow, well done, you actually gave this kid something to do, you know, to cause havoc. And maybe this could have been the perfect plot scenario to give us an origin as to how Boruto learned the Kagebonshin no Jutsu, by stealing or doing the same thing his father did. But at this point, Boruto already knows how to use the Kagebonshin no Jutsu. Also, Naruto looked at Himawari and talked about her unlocking the Byakugan being a rare case. Then again, I also got shit from people saying that I am talking random shit because I said that Himawari has already unlocked the Byakugan, and they corrected me by saying that Himawari has not unlocked the Byakugan. So it's basically a cycle, and we are going in loops now. People are trying to correct my stuff with mistakes, and at this point it's getting really annoying because I'm getting facts and providing them, and people are telling me that my facts are wrong when I got it from the official source. So before you correct me, please at least do your research before trying to correct me. I might make a mistake here and there because I'm human, and so far I haven't made any. So it's like, alright, cool, you can have your opinion, but don't try and insult anyone, and not just me. Don't try and insult my subscribers, and don't try and insult me for providing you with the accurate information when all the information you are pulling is actually from your head and not from an official source, or at least a reliable source. Anyways, the episode concludes with Hiyashi challenging Boruto, saying, I will be your opponent. But if you know the spoilers, then we know that it's gonna be Yuno who is fighting Boruto. I know the end result of this fight, and if you really want to know how it concludes as well, then just check out my previous Things You Missed video, because it contains all the spoilers as well as things that will happen up until episode 10. With that being said, let me just promote my shit real quick. Okay, now for my subscribers, I need someone who can imitate the art of Boruto, or at least Naruto, you know, to do some commission work for me, and I need someone who can recreate music accurately to what we are hearing in Boruto and Naruto. So if any of you know someone who is able to do that, just contact me at my Twitter. And also I need people to create memes, and if you create the best meme, just send it to me at my Twitter and I will feature it in this video. I'm trying to do stuff like that and, you know, help my subscribers out. And also for future reviews, I'm going to be answering questions, because Q&As are really boring to sit through for like an entire 30 minutes. So I will be answering at least 2 or 3 questions per review. With that being said, that has been everything I have to offer for you. This review has really been long and just a huge analysis. Like, subscribe and all that shit. With that being said, I have nothing more to say. Bye.